her crash down, it's a very slight tweaks towards Rel, I would say. Like, her crash down shield's a little bit lower, gives her a little less tankiness in the early game. That was the priority of the nerfs for Riot. But we see
lane swap that comes through. We oftentimes just see teams swap both bot lanes up to top side, and then it's whatever. We're not really thinking about that initial Drake, but with it being an Infernal Drake, ThunderTalk not swapping their bot lane up allows them to pick this one up nice and quickly. It moves them on towards Drake stacking.
Great ward out of Hoya, though. He had the, the tingle in the back of his neck that something may be afoot on this top side. Now he's going to use the Dominus again to cut away the dive. Weaver's Wall comes across, but Hoya really on top of these top lane plays. Once again, uses the Dominus to cut down the wave and shuts down the dive.
Yep, and that's going to be just wasted time right here for NIP. Setab was even moving his way up. He's now going to be able to catch this next wave in peace. And second Drake going over to ThunderTalk. Drake stacking going to be a big part of their game plan.
Naked is out of position to try and cover his AD carry. Leave has burned Flash and Cleanse, but Flash forward. 1xN gets the Blade Caller root down. Leave's trying to pump all the damage out in the Transcendent form, and he will trade his life with Aki's. Both marksmen pick up the first 2 kills of our game. For NIP, it's been never getting in a good setup spot, and for TT, they've always traded under those turret dives. This time, there's no turrets to worry about. All they're using is their vision advantage to pick off a Niket that thought he had a free trip back to base. Well, guess what, Niket? You get a faster trip back to base this time. Macro set up here. Drop the Herald mid. You don't really care as much about the crash. What you're getting here is first prio on the wave and first track towards that dragon.
Absolutely, because it's freezing multiple members of ThunderTalk underneath that tower. Through comes the Weavers Wall. 1xN kind of caught by himself, but actually is going to be just fine to walk this one out. Tower very, very low, should fall. Yeah, they're actually going to be able to get this full tower, and now they get that priority walk down towards this objective. Setab.
The poly execution was already used, but a flash on top. Solo kill in his namesake, knocking down Setab, and that's really going to give NIP all the control on this map. They have the dragon position. Now they're catching cleanses off of Feather. It's a 5v4. Solo kill has TP, even if there was a fight to break out on this bot side. Playing the map superbly. NIP really even out our game state here. They shut down that WinCon Bloxer. They even the gold up, and now we're all square. Virtually on even footing, and as this game goes on, the matchup swings heavily towards Ambessa versus this one. This is where Renekton 1-2 items is going to be most potent, I feel. Solo kill is in prime position. But talking on builds here, Bloxer, well, we might have to wait a moment as the Ket's going to get a great flash, spear, lance charge, and Setab goes in between worlds into his own death in that seismic shove. NIP making it a point to pick off Setab's poor side.
A rough series of plays right here for ThunderTalk. They've done well for themselves in the early game, but we're talking about it, right? Have they pulled themselves far enough ahead to avoid some mistakes? I was expecting these mistakes to be overall map play mistakes, rather than Setab just getting caught twice in a row. The response out of ThunderTalk, they're going to push down this mid lane tier 1 tower. They get a huge chunk of damage onto it, but
Weaver's Wall value from Doyen B. They're going to set up the cease and desist. The Paranoia goes down over top. They're going all in after Feather, though, who just turns it back with the charm. Great flash to get over from the crash down. 1xN's going to eliminate Nayo, and they trade Feather out. Aki, though, has to run away from the Transcended Leave, who drops the Arc of Ruin and a whole lot of autos into him to pick up the multi-kill.
There we go, that's what a 2-item Yanara can do. Leave just stepping up, walking. It really was. It got super split early on. Feather tries to go in to get people off of his ADC, and it does work, but Arki has also flown in as well. I think Arki really just needs to use that.
The map state not doing so hot for them right now. Look at the top lane where they're just dropping waves in their tier 2 turret, but when you're behind, you start making gambles, and Otacon is going to be the big gamble here. All the ultimates are back online. Keep your eyes on Nayo and Solo Kill, who are going to be flying in first here for NIP as the Otacon goes below 4k HP. Hoya in a 1v1 of his own. It's Feather to actually secure the Otacon with the Unseen Spellbook Smite. Aki going to go all in after Nayo, but look at Solo Kill. He just has too many shields to really deal with. Goes into the powerful execution after the backside, but maybe it was a little too far, too early. Cease Assist does come through, and there's Nayo to finally shut down Setab once more, and 1xN has no more frontline, no more peel left, and it's Doyen B and Nayo to shut this one down. The Blade Caller won't even save it for TT. A wipe kill for NIP. Ace, and guess what? They did it all without their hyper kill.
Feather to be there first. This is just really an odd decision out of ThunderTalk.
Oh, and picture, we have a pick coming through again. It's Feather that surrenders his life. That's the value of the Talia showing out there, and NIP really just showcasing that they've been much more pristine on the map ever since we shifted in the mid-game, and they're going to even up the turrets, and Setab is going to get picked off again for a third time, caught out by Niket CC. 3 deaths in a row for Setab, alone on a side lane.
And at this point, it's just going to be Hoya with a decent little lead. NIP, they're even going to put themselves back to even in terms of these Drakes, and they feel like they are in complete control of this game. Something's going on. There we go. Now they have information.
Hoya still has yet to respawn. He's going to get up now. He's going to teleport in. But look at the engagement from Niket. He's immediately going after what I said. He gets the Featherstorm out early. So that one self-peel tool for Thunder Talk's AD carry is down. The problem for Niket is he had to Hex Flash over a wall into the enemy jungle. So Niket, in a tough spot here, is going to give another kill over to Thunder Talk. I like the play, but NIP not on the same page. They give up the Baron play. Dragon for free. I like that they're not having Nio come over in case CT were rushing down the Baron. He's still in position to, hero steal it if needed, and Doinby and Solo Kill have more than enough damage to get NIP onto Soul Point with 3 straight Chemtech Drakes.
The members are, and that's the problem, right? On our screen, Solo Kill is dead to rights. He's completely by himself. On Thunder Talks, they think there's a lot of members of NIP hiding off in the brushes, and they were too scared to pull the trigger. It may well come back to bite them, because now they're going to have to fight around this Baron in a straight-up 5v5. And on top of that, a couple of third items have now been completed. Actually, third items now onto every single NIP member that matters.
No death cap for Satab just yet.
Yeah.
IE is done for 1xN. There's a ton of damage actually goes on to the Nio, but look at this catch. It's Satab again caught out. So frustrating. TT never allowed to get in a good position because they're constantly getting picked off, and now they have to surrender more terrain. Mid-tier 1 definitely going to go down. And that gives even more credence for NIP to push their vision line.
Solo Kill straight over onto this Drake. That is going to be...
what are you going to do?
They just have to do this, right? You're losing out on Soul.
Oh, okay. Now Doinby's going to TP over. Solo Kill is going to get Chemtech Soul.
NIP
are going to have Chemtech Soul. TT, quit standing around, man. It's like an awkward middle school dance. You can go out there and dance. You can look for an angle, at least a fight. You're
going to get ahead, right? This is the thing. You're not going to get a big lead over your opponents by sitting here and watching them play. Oh, 1xN.
He gets slowed up. There's the Featherstorm out. Feather's going to immediately snap to engage. He gets on to leave, but Niket provides enough of a cushion, and Feather's going to go down. Again, the TT bot lane tries to rescue a bad game state for their squad, but it's just too little too late by this point. Feather goes down. They do knock out Leave, thanks to the Aki paranoia, but Baron's the call now for NIP.
And they head straight back on towards this one. It's not ideal to lose your ADC, so we'll see if Thunder Talk now feel confident enough to be able to step up and fight. This is your opportunity, but they are down a couple of these big ultimates.
Toya still has his dominance, but Niket has found him out. Good flash to get over the seismic shove. And again, Hoya showing close to the pit. Stops the Baron take. Nio, you still got aggro, my friend. And they're going to have to constantly try and if they can get a health bar check here for Aki. For the NIP with Leave back up, though, 50-50 should never be in the realm. You are much stronger. Can they look for a fight here? Doinby's going to throw down the Weaver's Wall. Not a ton of value. Hoya with the dominance popped is going to try going to the back end. Solo Kill holding the front line for now. The Baron goes below 4k HP. There's the paranoia. Satab over the wall in Invis. Gonna drop them between worlds. Hold the carries at bay. Hoya's able to knock down Niket. Aki does finally fly in, and it's able to get Lee picked off once again. There's the Guardian Angel out of Nio, but he's got to get way out of dodge. Gets back over the wall, and somehow, someway, TT are starting to find a thriving fight. Feather gonna look for another knockup. Gets Doinby picked off. He has to flash away. Solo Kill dishing out so much damage, but this time 1xN safely steps up, gets the Blade Caller down. Doinby able to limp away, but somehow TT down.
Inara does hurt. Oh, the timing from 1xN.
Oh, hold on, Boxer. Picture in picture. All right, TT are now doing the Baron, and they are going to commit into a 50-50, but Aki makes it a 100-0 with the lights going out. This game continues to surprise. TT have now stolen Baron in front of NIP, and brought the gold all the way back to just a measly 2k.
Slayer, are Thunder Talk doing it? Are they wrestling this one back into their control? It feels like the beginning, right? We have been sat, staring at Baron since it spawned 12 minutes ago. This is a long time. In
wave states to threaten an Elder take at 40 minutes.
Exactly, this is a good push happening down through the bottom side of the map for Thunder Talk. NIP, they try to establish themselves a little bit of mid lane control, but Hoya is there, and this is going to be a bit of a flip, potentially. Teleport going to come in. Hoya now going to rejoin his team. The battle lines have been drawn.
The last 40 minutes mean nothing. This final fight should decide our game this deep in. 40 minutes goes to the wayside. The next 30 seconds is what matters. The Weaver's Wall going to delay TT from stepping back up, but the lights go back out. Who is going to get the Elder? It's secured. It's the smite. The revenge of Aki on the main stage as NIP are just going to get deleted by the Greybeard's Blue Flame. Not even a single TT member should drop outside of Hoya. It's 4 for 1. TT going to finish what they started and take a 1-0 lead.
Solo Kill is going to be the only remaining member. Hoya will die, and so you've got one last hope, but it should not be enough. ThunderTalk, they've been behind this entire game. They had so many people caught out of positions, head-scratching decision after head-scratching decision, but NIP, they stalled this game out for far too long, and they're going to pay the ultimate price.
And one more Bellows Breath of Elder buff on to Solo Kill will do it. 41 minutes of
that reduction in the base armor to really matter, and once we get into the later stages of the game, yes, you want to be tanky as the Brom, but the Sion's going to be a massive issue anyway, and as soon as you put that, but then also, you just want to wait long enough for Leave to actually stack up.
What is going on here? Alright, we invaded on the chickens, and we have 8 people fighting for them, but the chickens are disgruntled that they've been pulled out of their pit. Smite Fight's going to be won by Nio, so he gets level 2, and now TT, oh, they're so screwed. Somebody has to die, and it's going to be Feather that ends up falling. Hey, at least a couple pings spot out Nio coming up towards his top side. TT know that this dive threat is here.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not this big of a dive threat. Holy moly. All right. Doinby has perfect execution, and the stun immediately lands on a 1xN, tries to get back towards his turret. Niket will not even fall to the turret aggro. Clinical dive from Ninjas in Pajamas.
Extra power through this Ocean Drake. That's going to help out your Sion. You know, he's going to be very happy to have himself an Ocean Drake sat for these long lanes, but everybody else, they're not really going to be too happy with that one. And the fact that the Shockwave on cooldown, odd how that ended up happening. But it was always going to be that kind of aggressive play right there, because you just... Hang on.
Alright, here we go. Grand Starfall. Feather, you are dead again. 1xN, let him go. And that map presence threat for NIP. I wonder if he has enough mana to just charge at the Saatrox without World Ender, but we won't have to focus on that because it's actually Doinby getting caught out in a brush. Can they get the Brimstone through? Yes, the stun lands. 1xN, you got enough damage in the tank? No, he does not. Darling Shadow comes across, Doinby goes right back in. They get the depth charge knock up onto Aki. The Crest Guard shows up. 1xN knows he's dead. He's going to trade himself out with Doinby. Really heads up play from the TT80 carry.
Yeah, he was always going to die, and if he just tries to walk away a little bit more, you don't get to trade that one back. Brilliantly done there. Still, that does leave you with low health bars and people having to go and reset right as this Drake is available. Nio in a perfectly strong position to be able to go and contest onto this one. And with everybody resetting on through, I don't think you can fight onto this. This is going to be one apiece in terms of the Drakes, one apiece in terms of the kills. But again, where the kills are going continues to be very, very important. It's Niket that ends up picking up.
is a prime dive target, and yep, here we go. They're going to TP in for it. Aki and Feather are here, but Satab does a good job clearing the wave out. NIP, Niket, they say, screw waves. We're just going for the dive here. Shockwave's going to miss it. He's going to flash even though the stun lands. Niket is going to get executed because Satab did no damage to anybody.
Yikes, that's really rough. Picking up the kill onto the support and not even getting the credit for it. This is going to lead the tower to go down as well. That's now going to be just more gold. That Grand Starfall up and available, has been looking to find it, and so far has done so to great success.
What are we doing around this Herald? All right, here we go. The Scion, it does hit on
that's
Leave.
Huge. Yo.
Oh, the woes of lead positioning, really going to burn an IP, and now Solo Kill's getting jumped on next. The Braum stack's providing so much value. It's a double kill over to Aki. Oh, Leave.
What do we say, huh? What did we say? Unfortunately, Leave's mispositioning errors have been coming through for the last 2 and a bit splits so far, and it really bites them in that situation. He's so out of position. Feather is stepping quite far up, is quite low health.
He's got the shield up. He gets back towards 1xN. He is going to die. Doinby goes in with the first bit of poly execution, but the shockwave naps him out of the air. Satab's revenge. Right as that engage came across.
Yeah, that was important, although he is backing on a ward right now. Yeah.
And there's a spear right to your jugular, my friend. Nio completes the pick play, and Satab, oh wow, are they really going to dive this guy? But why not? Niket's got depth charge. Satab, the shockwave hits onto one member, it's Leave, but he doesn't have turret aggro. It's Niket again doing such a good job juggling the turret aggro. Aki, that is not a tasty treat. That is bait.
It is, but I mean, I would have gone for it. Sumi, that would have been such an easy kill. If you can hit that, Wind becomes lightning. Not quite going to be able to land, though, and it is going to be Niket walking away, surviving this one. Still, with everybody being drawn up towards the top side of the map, that is going to be the Rift Herald coming down through the mid lane. Picks up that tier 1.
Who is here with his own smite. The Ket does not have smite with the Unsealed Spellbook, so this likely shouldn't be a 50-50 if Aki and Feather can time it up with no interruption. Send us here. There goes Doinby flying after 1xN, but he doesn't have enough damage. He has to perfect execute back out. 1xN still up and thriving with the culling. Knocks down solo kill. Shockwave is going to grab Niket as well, but there's the execution onto 1xN. Nio picks up the kill, and Doinby can start throwing the 5-finger strikes down, but Hoya's flashing after him. Health means enough damage to deal, and boy is he pushing it to the face of NIP. One more kill to find. It's Leave getting chased down, coming for their head. But TT still like their odds on this Otacon. They do have the Akali in base. Doinby is going to teleport in. Dredgeline does lay down the Feather. There's the unstoppable onslaught. TP is coming across. Doinby has access to the backline. TT are getting bottlenecked, and Doinby flies on in with more than enough damage to finally get the kill onto 1xN. TT overstay their welcome at Otacon and lose a whole damn lot for it.
Yeah, they're going to get massively punished for that one. Now Hoya going to have to turn tail and run. This tower not going to be long for the world this time. Potentially not either. Hook also going to land right here out of Niket. Nio, between them, not a huge amount of damage. They need to get the other members into this fight.
I still don't think he dies. All right, now I think he dies.
Okay,
all right,
now he does.
I was waiting for somebody with damage items behind him.
Yeah, as soon as Doinby and Leave arrive, there's a chance. Between Nio and Niket, they're not going to be able to grab that one. Hoya at least going to be able to
Still enough agency for TT to feel like they can scrap, but side lanes have been their woes all series long, and I've seen this movie way too many times. Does get a good two-man Shockwave, but he's going to die. Seraph Shield, this is all facade. There we go. Doinby, 6th kill of the game. Good response here from TT, though, just barreling down mid lane. Very valuable turret to actually trade Satab for. I think that's actually what we call a plus EV play.
Yeah, you're not going to be too mad about happy, though, to just concede this one. Aki heading straight up towards the top side of the map. Krug's top lane wave, apparently far more important to him than the Lee's been able to pick up for himself. He's going to be hitting really hard and from really far away. He just takes out this tower by himself. Doesn't even need a minion wave to be able to help out.
He doesn't even want to kill him. He's just like, you think about your actions.
Yeah, I'm just going to walk this one away. Instead, it's just going to be Leave from next screen over, hitting onto this tower. You can't even step up to kill the minion wave right now. He's particularly good at hitting these unstoppable onslaughts so far. Satab.
Oh, Satab, buddy.
Take 2, bud.
All right, we need to count on how many times this guy dies in the side lane. Yes, did I say he died early? No, I really didn't. Oh, the sun, yes. Why are we burning that? All right, then. Oh, I didn't see Aki pop over the wall. Okay, respect, Satab. You should get Doinby killed, and he does. I wasn't familiar with your game there.
Look at the map. Yep, the response out of that one because you
pretty evened out, and I see both top laners running their way here. So at the very least, NIP are going to wrestle control of this jungle and look to just pick off whoever steps up, who is Feather and Aki. Glacial Fissures down. Just look at Leave. Just see if Leave ever is under any sort of threat right now.
Hoya!
Hasn't happened yet. As Hoya throws himself into all of NIP. Shockwave's going to hold Doinby at bay, but there's the perfect execute onto the back line, and they send solo kill with full force at all of Thunder Talk. There is finally the kills stacking up for NIP. 1xN's flash, the only reason he survives, and Hoya, you got all that health and a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be a right here for Nio. Yeah, is going to be able to kill 1xN on the back end of that one. Just use the Grand Starfall to get in. That's going to be the Baron as well, and this should be the game. NIP, they've made it look a little bit rougher than they needed to, but still, Thunder Talk, they've been outpaced, and it feels like there's almost nothing that they can do to get themselves back into this one.
A Baron look, and then maybe they'll probably take the reset, but after that, it's assault on all fronts of these last couple outer turret scraps.
Yep.
Control these wave states. Look at top, look at bot as this dragon spawns. So there's no like threat of your base being decimated. TT have bought themselves another 5v5 fight, and look at Satab! He grabs Leave. Can they get him back out? That's a really big depth charge coming from Niket, and they're going to block the culling this time. Leave's going to turn with the Dawing Shadow, but TT still feel confident with their health bars in a better spot. Good stasis comes out from Satab. Solo kill. He's going to get stunned up. Niket goes down. Solo kill gets back over the wall. There's Doinby, but he's going to get caught by 1xN. One more auto. 1xN survives in front of this assassin threat. Solo kill is resetting, though. He's able to get these sweet spots with the World Ender out, and he's healing way too much damage for TT to contend with. It's just not enough late game juice for TT to make that fight work.
No, unfortunately not. ThunderTalk, they are going to have to limp away. They keep a couple of members up, but importantly, they are going to lose outright here onto the Mountain Dragon. That's going to be Mountain Soul picked up for NIP, their second soul in. Does enough to at least force him away.
TT just need to get a shockwave down on Leave, who is, oh my god, just...
That's a dank.
Bap, bop, bop. Yeah, I mean, I will say Hoya, I would like to see exactly how much health he has, because it is a preposterous number when it comes to his HP. But, all right, NIP running down the mid lane. They're going after Satab, who has to burn his stasis. I don't think he even has flash to get out here. The shockwave just going to delay his end. He actually is able to sneak back out here. And Solo Kill takes a lot of damage, but Feather goes down first. The Culling just not connecting on these low health bars. Aki's down as well. NIP have a couple options on their table. The Baron is up, or they can just go for the end here. They're going to take the smarter route and cash the 2 kills in they claimed for the second Baron of the game.
And the fact that Satab's actually able to survive there is crazy, but the fight just not quite working out for
Yeah, watch this, guys.
He's so far out of the base.
NIP, man, like, come on. You need to end this game. This guy is actually hitting from... we made the joke another screen. It's actually another screen now.
Yeah.
I just want to see him get 2 more souls. All right, there's one. Come on, give me a second one. I need to see 200. Oh, no, there it is.
There it is.
Oh,
my
no.
lord.
Oh, there we go. 200 set of stacks in an LPL game.
That's crazy. That's crazy to be able to get this far ahead. As long as Leave keeps his positioning
Oh,
right. Aki goes in.
I mean, you have to, right? The shockwave lands, but doesn't get on to Leave. They do front Doinby diving towards the back line. But if Leave's not down, you have to like the odds of NIP. Doinby into the stasis perfectly as he's pushed all the damage dealers away from the death ball that is NIP. They only lose Feather, but there's no way for them to defend these Nexus turrets because Leave can hit them from outside of turret range. TT have lost all their main engage tools. There's no way to threaten Leave, who is just bapping turrets down auto by auto. Anyone that steps near him loses, gets demolished by the might of the scaled Senna. The Nexus is exposed and open for the taking, and Leave could just trick shot it from halfway across the screen. The hook lands on a Satab. He goes down. Another 40-minute game, headlined by the biggest scaling Senna you've seen.
Overall, anyway. That being said, you do now have a little bit of an interesting situation where Solo Kill and Nayu are going to want to go jumping into the backline, whereas Doinby and Leave, they're kind of...
in this game, and Satab has that push on the Yone that brings a lot more sustained damage to these early neutral takes. So TT picking up the first dragon before Grubs are even in the realm of spawning, 2.5 minutes out. And you talked about the swaps as well. Like Hoya keeping his 1v1, range Gnar is so annoying for melees to deal with. So
in this matchup right here, it's pretty rough, honestly, to be playing into this Gnar because you could just get poked out so easily. You get outranged, and then as soon as the Mega Gnar comes through, you don't actually just beat out the Mega Gnar.
Oh, Aki, the worst for brush to face check. Luckily, he has his ult available. The Fate Seal does land onto Doinby. Good flash from Nayo. And Satab can't get himself back out. Feather does pop the ghost. So looking to chase down these ultimate members of NIP. The double headbutt pulverized gets Nayo caught, and the Realm Warp won't even get Doinby out. Bail out. Hell no. Double kill to 1xN. Next 5 minutes.
Yeah, you take that one every single day of the week. The fact that you don't have the Glacial Prison going to be significantly less impactful. You've also now got 1xM rejoining with that Kraken Slayer in inventory, so he's going to be in a very strong spot, and that's even before he's been able to complete that cull. He's got that extra injection of cash coming in soon as well. Teleport going to be coming in. This is a Feather teleport to join the fight.
Yep, Feather and also Hoya, so they're here.
Hoya,
TT are making a statement. They're saying, we are playing for dragons, and Nayo cannot get the steal. Fate Seal does get on the back line here from Satab, but he gets stunned up. He's going to have to jump back. Luckily, Niket is able to survive. Solo Kill grabs Satab, though, into an own 1v1 and makes him pay for his transgressions. Dragon at a moment. Post plates dropping until late game has been when NIP have been much better on the map here. It's going to be not going to take enough damage. I thought he wasn't, but man, where did that sauce come out from Aki?
Glacial Prison right there from Aki just pops through. People really do underestimate the amount of damage that a Sejuani can do early on. Those base damages are really, really high, and that's also going to result in this top lane tower falling and a huge amount of pressure on the top side of the map right as Rift Herald is up and available. 5 seconds until that one's on the board. They can head back to base, spend that gold, come back out, and feel very comfortable to potentially contest for this objective.
Doesn't get any Heartsteel stacks, but picks up that kill. Solo Kill. Gonna solo out this turret to get down here for the second Drake. They TP'd in 2 members.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a weird timer. I thought they were late and the Mountain Drake could just get started, but NIP don't go for it, and now they can go for the classic Herald drop mid, allows them to get the mid wave up, and now Herald should crash in. Satab just poking and prodding. Should get Shelly up to the turret, but I don't think it will. Backside of the fight, though, here, look at solo kill. Oh, he pulls Satab back towards Nio. Cancels the Fate Seal with the Cassante ultimate. Great understanding of the kit there from solo kill.
Wow, that's a disaster of a macro play right there from ThunderTalk. They go get the Herald so that they can do the Herald crashes into mid lane play that we've seen a million times before, but they don't push the wave anywhere near far enough forward. Satab steps up in a stilly spot and gets taken out, and that's going to result in the Drake going over as well, but they are so scared to actually use them, try to push the pace of the game on, and I think in this game it's fine for NIP, but it's kind of egregious here for ThunderTalk. They have to try make this work. You've given 1xN one of these earlier game champions. You had the option of giving him a super late game scaler, and you didn't. Now they're at least going to start up this Atakan. Nio is in the area though, and Lee Sin good for steals.
Realm Warp. Doinby's going to get both the scaling carries in here. Feather going to knock the Lee Sin out, but Nio goes in and steals the Atakan. Fate sealed on the solo kill. The Cassante will go down, but you'll take that trade any day of the week. The Nio Lee Sin does not disappoint. And IP, they will have to sack this Mountain Drake. They are 5 versus 4 for the time being. Satab can teleport his way back in. You see how dark the pit is. Just take your Octagon prize and leave. Soul Point is a problem for another day, Ninjas in Pajamas.
Yeah, the fact that that one's stolen away is huge for himself so far. And getting that pick would have been nice. Big pressure right now from NIP into the mid lane. Nio sat over the wall as well. They could potentially go for an engage once this tower falls.
Tower's down. Hoya, what's two of them?
For them.
Yeah, and it's the meta for them on 1xN. Realm Warp in. Doinby going to get the Rune Prism. Immediately cleanse back out. Nio, though, flash kick. Serves up 1xN with a side of fries. One more kick should do it, but the Glacial Prison interrupts it. Zolka has to flash out. Now pulls Satab into his team. Solo kills Cassante. Is just diffing all of Thunder Talk right now.
Yeah, he's all over this game. And NIP, they find that snap engage. It was a misposition from 1xN, a rare misposition, but he stepped a little bit too far forwards. That's going to be the Baron unlocked right now. Nothing that you can do. Yes, Aki is alive. But without the Glacial Prison and without any friends, it's going to be impossible for them to be able to take this one away. It should be traded back for a top lane tier 2 tower right here. At least Hoya is going to be able to grab this, and this is going to be one less wave that you really have in a position to push through. That's something, but it's not a lot right here. That's a real rough fight for ThunderTalk.
Oh, Blockster, I used to pray for times like this, man. NIP take a Baron down 15 seconds after it spawns.
Hell yeah.
They've learned. We're learning in Nirvana, everybody.
All out to pull him further away from his tower, allowing for that kill to come through. Really nice.
Oh, pick on a Doinby, though. Where's the Fate Sealed? Mom comes down. You want why there's no Fate Sealed? Because Satab's off to the side. He's got a flank angle, but why flank? Your team is burning alive to leave. Who gets his first scorching, screaming, smolder execute kill?
It's happened again. It's happened again, Slayer, where Leave gets a pretty free lane, is able to just chill Deathless so far on this Smolder, and hit 225 stacks quite a while ago, is now at the point with 3 items where he is just running through people.
Oh my god, NIP. They're trying to speedrun this game. All right, it was a little bit of fake out. It's like, hey, it's just our tank Cassante, guys. What are you so scared of? Nothing to deal with. Gets the inhibitor turret, though, and the inhibitor down next, so... man, it might have taken way too long, but this is the pace that I want to see against an IP, against weaker opponents.
Absolutely. We highlighted ThunderTalk when we came into today by saying that they win against teams that are worse than them, and they lose against the better teams, and this is happening so far. Aki going to be the one jumped, relatively tanky on the Sejuani.
Hostile takeover, going to hit Aki. I believe it's cleansed by Feather, but you know what matters most? It's just Leaves damage is preposterous by this point. It's a 3-item Infinity Edge up Dragon. Maybe we don't even need this Drake. NIP are just so content on fighting anytime they see an angle. Feather going to fall down as well. I think that was a reset. Oh my god, I forgot they have 3 teleports. All right, we're bringing solo kill back up and around to this one. Wow, 2 40-minute games, and NIP are pissed off about it. Probably pissed off they even had to get 3 games up against Thunder Talk, and now they're looking to settle the score pre-30 minutes. And with the damage out of Leave and the knockbacks out of this Cassante, solo kill leaving his mark on this series. And it might have taken way too many fights, way too many mistakes, but NIP at the end of the day will end the first round robin 4-1 right on the heels of EDG.
A much, much quicker game, right?
And really, that's what wrecked TES. But we came into that series and game saying, all right, there was no real setup for a Rumble equalizer behind it. This game, a bit caught out of position. The Ignite comes down, but Flandre also getting engaged up, but he's setting up for Tarzan. There's no cleanse on JackeyLove. Tarzan remembers and gets his top laner first blood. Tarzan everywhere on the map, but he's looking for more here, going after Hong, who has to dash over. Tibbers does have to be expended. They're going after Flandre again. He's going to equalizer the wave. Knockup does land into the Blade Caller slam. That was really well layered from Kanavi and TES. And the TP from Kyle, of all people, just a little bit too late.
Yeah, and that means that Kyle's now just sort of stuck up in the top side of the map. He can't even really step up to catch this wave properly. He won't be able to push it back at all. And so you've just sort of moved people out of the ideal positions. Hope going to come join up towards the top side. And actually, you know what? Kyle stepping up far enough, stopping any plates from going over isn't going to be the end of the world. Gets to join up with his ADC, but he just needs to be careful not to keep stepping up because Kanavi is sprinting top.
Okay, he's trying to buy time, but Kanavi's there first, like you called out. Good installs Impact Slam again. A rare...
hang on.
Oh, and Grand Starfall. Here comes Tarzan, hot and ready for another kill, and there's nothing 360 can do about it. Manifests here in the Drake pit. You're going to be able to pick up that first Mountain Drake and even out the win con of Drake stacking. Kanavi.
Ashes 2 Virgin. It's just extra survivability, which is interesting, right? I think you do kind of need it into this composition AO have for themselves. If you ever get jumped like this. Hang on, James.
Good Tipper Stun initially to make sure 369 can't step up. The exhaust goes on to Kanavi. They're really trying to get Shakes out, but he gets charmed up by the quickness, and the needlework should burn through his health bar. Kanavi picks up the kill despite the Magnet Storm from Kyle. A little bit too late to try and save his mid lane. AL, I don't know if you walk in here. I think they might just barrel down mid lane and trade this for a tier 1 turret.
Yeah, it is a very easy swap if you want to do that, and it's a much harder gambit to try to actually go for this steal over. Still, it's taking them a little while. They will be able to grab themselves this tower.
They don't have him marked over the wall. He pulls Cream into the equalizer. JackeyLove flashing back out to safety. Grand Starfall. They're all going in for Cream, but he slips out on the back end of this fight. Tarzan with the big wall up on the E will get Blade Collared, knocked up, slammed around by Kanavi. The Impale may go wide, but Cream picks up the kill. 369 dies at the top side of the fight, and look at the HP bars of JackeyLove and Cream. There's no way for them to step up. Shakes finally gets the stun up and stuns them both through. Flandre gets out over the Drake pit wall. Boom goes the dynamite. Ace to AL.
All of the carries managed to get away with that one for AL, and it's just such a
They always want to set up these big flanks, and Flandre is in position to do so, but he doesn't have the equalizer, and Hong grants that he's a little bit out of position. He goes on to Kanavi instead, throws up the big E shield to block all the damage from JackeyLove, but the Impale is masterful from Tarzan, picked off by Kanavi, and Flandre falls next. Both junglers making their statements in this first game.
Absolutely, Kanavi with that double impale is going to lock this one up. Without a jungler, it's going to be really hard to try to force TS off of this. Still, they want to go for
it. Gets the crash down into the Magnet Storm with the Tipper stun. Kanavi's still alive, though. Hope is going to flash after him to find the kill, but gets knocked up. The equalizer value not there. It's just Shakes left up. He's going to trade Cream, but that's not a problem for Top Esports.
Such an odd engage right there out of AL. They really didn't want to give up the Atacam, but didn't decide to play this one slowly, poke members out instead. Everybody goes flying in, and it just does not work out. Hope,
Try and cleanse those ailments by picking off Hong. Just jumps right back towards his team, and the Dragon goes down. TS picked that one up.
So far, so good. I really couldn't tell you who was going to be able to win this one out, as everybody's got one tower apiece, relatively even in gold as well. There's 100 gold advantage right here for TES. They'll be able to expand this in a second. This tower should be falling right here to Cream. That's going to be a little bit of extra gold into their back pockets, and with the slight advantage of one extra Drake, you could mildly give it over to TES, but I don't know. This one's super close so far.
You're just giving 369 more time on this top side to maybe just set a trap here onto Flandre. Flash out, he's trying to run away from the needlework, but Hong and Kanavi are in hot pursuit. Kyle's going to tank up the first Ixtal's impact, but Flandre is down. The equalizer gets 0 value. And I might have misspoke here, Blockster.
Navi. And the Baron play does get stopped. About 1,000 gold lead now for TES.
Oh, another TP flank.
Do what he can to stop this one. He needs to run.
He runs back towards his team, though. They're dumping everything onto Kanavi. They're also TPing Flandre back in with 369. Is he strong enough? Kyle gets the double Magnet Storm onto Jackalow, forces out the Feather Storm. They're going all in for Jackalow, and Tarzan picks up the kill. 369's flank is only going after Flandre, who goes into the stasis perfectly. Now the rest of AL can step back up with their Yunara to bring home the fight. No one left for TES to climb back in this one.
Now it's just going to be 369 limping away at the end of this one. Kanafi is up, but he's just heading towards the bottom side of the map. That's going to be Baron right here for AL, and it's another big, messy team fight. But Hope also picks up that tier 2 tower before he turns tail. That's just going to help them out in trying to end this game. I like this from TES. Just push through the mid wave, get yourself this tower potentially, and also just make it harder for the siege to come through from AL because they will have Baron buff.
And they won't hold it for Flandre, so they'll have it on 4 members. Big, if you haven't seen it yet, folks, the damage at this point in the game on this champion is disgusting.
Yeah.
Not going to see it here, though. Top lane tier 2 turret going to go down there. TES doing a good job indexing away from the Baron push because there were a couple far out.
With this Baron buff, it hasn't actually been a big gainer of gold. Kyle goes in again.
But he gets caught by Kanavi, gets thrown against the wall, the Impale. They're using a lot just onto the AL support, and Kyle will happily gobble them up. Kanavi is down, and Hog is pushed out of the fight as the stun lands on Ejaculov. Shakes his flank, comes across. The Feather Storm won't save him, and boom, the Golden comes out. 369 may run towards the backline, trade out Hope, but I don't think he's got enough to clean up the rest of these kills. No, he doesn't. Tarzan stuns him down, and Cream and Hog way too low to step up to compete for this 4th dragon.
He called out perfectly right. They blow everything on to trying to kill Kyle. They don't even manage to pick up the kill. And it's just not enough that 369 able to get into the backline. He hasn't been able to build himself a super aggressive build.
That is a problem. TES are actually the ones to start this Baron up, and they do it very, very quickly. Tarzan is going to go away from the Baron originally, but Hong is actually baiting them. Tarzan flashes in, does not get the steal. Impale goes down onto Tarzan. He's able to block a lot of the damage, re-engage on top of Cream. Emperor's Divide trying back away, but the Equalizer, Cream's trapped on. He has to flash out of it. Flandre with the all out does not find the kill. It's a huge Feather Storm paired with the needlework from Jackalow and 369 to wipe the floor with AL, and Tarzan's going to die. It's the ace coming through. A knockout blow thrown by your Split 1 champion.
There you go, AL. They felt like they were in control of this game, but all of a sudden, TS, they snap back. And with the 40-second death timers on a couple of the members right here for AL, this is going to be the victory for TS. You can see pushing their way straight through the mid lane. Teleport going to be coming back in as well. Extra damage in the pocket of 369. The fight, it's back and forth, and all of a sudden, TES, they call game.
It was back and forth. AL had Baron. They had so much control. But one final fight, one fight with your scaling solo lanes decides it all. Tarzan leading the jungle is so proactive in the mid-game phase with the Wukong Orianna. They should be able to find really good angles with this. Maybe he feels safe with Hong and Kanavi here, but he is way too low. Kanavi, though, with the skirmishing power like we talked about early, is slugging out with Tarzan, but he's buying time for Hope, who we thought was homeless, but maybe found a way to fight his way in here. Tarzan flashes away from Kanavi. One more from Hope. Grabs first blood over to AL. Cream flashes over the red buff pit, and now Hong, flashless himself, is likely to surrender the 2nd kill over to Hope.
There we go. Yeah, we were talking about how it looked.
Kanavi when becomes lightning, but he sees the pink word. He's going to face check into Kyle, who ignites first, then flashes after. The double onslaught is up for Flandre. That ult is clutching, getting Hope his 3rd kill. 3 for 3 from the
side of the map, but there's not really anything he can do. Maybe if you get a real big push going, you can try for a dive onto Flandre as your cross-map play, but I really don't see that one coming to any fruition. Yeah.
He's got flash, and he's Scion. So, yeah, that's...
Hope and Pray that are going to be doing so much damage, but you just need to stop the game accelerating out of control for you.
All right, Tarzan is sacking 3 grubs to make this play work with a Cyclone and Shockwave, and Hong, without Summoners this time, will bite the Pied Piper. Kanavi with the Crescent Guard with the Arcane Storm is going to get Cream his first reset, but he doesn't have enough juice left, and he's going to run out of HP. Down goes Kanavi. It's really just that killer instinct, and Hope why are we still here? Maybe not expecting Hong to be hanging around, but he doesn't have flash. He's going to hold on to the Killer Instinct, use it for the shield dash. Tarzan here to save his AD carry, though. 369 flashes behind Hong, and bot side.
He can do work in this one.
Gotta respect the Cyclone Shockwave combo from Tarzan and Shanks, who are on the Dragon right now. As Kyle is going to flash away from the head, but pulverized. Kanavi's going in with the Crescent Guard, and he's going to steal away the Dragon. Tarzan low, but he sets up the Shockwave. Feast is up for the taking, but 369 not close enough to chop down on it. All hope is free hitting with the lethal tempo as Jackie Love and Cream have to bite it back and run for the high hills here. Graviton going to stun up Kyle, and Hong able to slip.
Right now, as these TES members, it's not as much, right? You need to be landing it onto concentrated members, picture in picture.
Tarzan engaged upon, turns it like he always does with Kyle waiting in the wings. Hope doesn't have that Killer Instinct to dash across the fight, but isn't needed. Another great bait from Tarzan. Knocked down from a game 1 exit. Even at 2-2, they have been pretty competitive in the best of 3 scenario set.
Yeah.
It's going to be a turret knockdown here for Shanks, so they're able to claim.
He's learning a lot about them here. Getting pushed quite hard. Potential dive going through right now. 369, he's got flash coming up in a couple of seconds' time. He's about 11 seconds away from that one.
But it's too late because the wave gets in and the knockups sing through. Hope grabs himself another kill. This is what makes AL one of the deadliest teams in the LPL. You give them a lead, they will take every fight, every neutral, really just everything off the map they can.
They're not slowing down at all. They know that this composition works at its absolute peak once you get about 2 items into people. And they're just going to keep on rolling through with this one right here. Like I said, a bit of a weird little couple situation still. TES now going to go for another engage. Kyle, he's caught out here.
Flandra's TPing in.
Mind the TP.
He is very tanky on this Scion by this point. He is pretty comfortable standing up tall to all of them. Graviton not going to get a lot of value here. Kanavi is the first one to be turned down by Flandra. Arcane Storm comes out. There's a lot of distance created right now by TS's comp. 369 does hit the Rupture onto Kyle in the back. He's looking to feast down, and he gets Flandra picked off. Boom! Kyle goes down next with the Shockwave. Hits 3 from Shanks. Can Flandra get in towards Kanavi's low health bar? No, but Hope can. Killer Instinct across the fight. Does find Kanavi. But TES are still 4 versus 3. Tarzan dipping in and out with that Wukong, using the Trickster well. But neither team looks like...
AL are really far ahead. Was not easy for them to play out.
There'll be something to revisit when the next fight breaks out, but I do like TES willing to give away some of these neutrals. Third Drake when it's 1-1, doesn't matter. Mountain Soul, a problem for a future TES. Right now, they just need to take as much standing gold as they can off the map to get to these bigger item breakpoints of their scaling composition. The problem is AL have so many windows to match that. So you drop a tier 1 turret in the top lane with 369. Outcon, though, not started. AL, they want to see out how the walk-in comes across here from TES, and it's pretty easy when 369 can lead that charge. Love this Herald pop, though, from Tarzan on the backside. Kyle is going to engage right on top of Kanavi. Crescent Guard's going to make sure Hope can't get any damage through, though. Cyclone coming through. Where's the Shockwave? It can't come through because Shanks gets ruptured. They're dumping the damage onto 369, and with Hope, he can churn him through. Knocks down the front line of TES. And now, Top Esports have to rely on...
immediately bailed out to go and push onto this mid lane. With those 3 grubs in the back pocket as well, this is going to be nice and easily picked up. That's a big injection of gold into AL's pocket. At the end of this fight, yes, 369 dies and they end up losing out onto the fight, but everybody from AL is down below half HP.
Here we go, Bloxer, though. The Autocom was still up, and they're going to go back to the same plan, which is, hey, Hope does more than enough damage on the 369, and with a double knockup from the Scion, with the Cyclone, 369 can't move. He does a fleeting feast, but Tarzan won't die. Kanavi goes all in, but the Shockwave holds him in place and makes sure they can get Tarzan out. AL's pristine team fighting is back like it never left.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for TS. They just step a little bit too far forwards, and unlike in the previous fight, Flandra did have the ulti available to be able to knock a couple of people back. The Atakan going to go over to AL on top of their 2 Drakes, on top of their 3 Grubs as well. They are in such a strong position into this game. And so far, AL have got complete and utter control of this one. They're going to be able to pick themselves up their 3rd Dragon of the game. Soul Point, Mountain Soul Point.
Pretty well. Yep. But Cream and Hong were in position to get out, but the Void Seeker does hit onto Cream, and Hope immediately pulls the Killer Instinct to go after him. The Graviton Arcade Storm, not enough, because AL had a beat on...
Cream just doesn't have that sort of damage.
Hong, Unbreakable Will. Killer Instinct not up for Hope, but the Shockwave is there for Shanks, and the ult runs out, and that means Shanks does a lot more damage with those autos. Hong goes down, and Tarzan still looking hungry for more. Eyeing a flank angle, but with AL as ahead as they are, they could just rip Baron, and Tarzan will do that. He's going to give away this flank, try and keep the vision up. You can see how dark the pit is for Kanavi, and they're just going to jump onto Kyle, but Flandra's going to flash over the wall. Tarzan can follow the Trickster pretty shortly. The TP into the pit for 369 is a bit audacious. He gets the knock up onto Tarzan, but again, look at Hope just to lead the health bar. Yeah, sure, feast on our support. It doesn't matter. He's willing to sacrifice himself because you've getting rid of all your front line, and that means Hope gets to break the door down, flying after your carries. AL clinical, looking to force this series the distance.
Hong going to be the only member still alive, and that's because he was dead when it started. It's going to be the Baron picked up here for AL. They only need one more Drake to get that soul as well, but I don't even know if they're going to need it. 2 minutes until that's up, and with the Baron empowered minions, they can look to crack open these towers. They've still got outer towers in the top and the bottom side to go for. Hong also just going to die. That's going to be the ace coming through as well.
He had smite. I respect the hustle. He's like, all right.
It's and a bunch. This is insane.
Here comes the big bus. Flandre just here to protect Shanks so they can usher the wave back in. Tarzan is a bit picked off here. The Graviton Well stun will layer, but he pops the Cyclo as Kanavi dives in. Shanks flash back over the wall. Kanavi will flash after him, but even if you find this kill onto Shanks, everybody else is dead. He doesn't even get that. Hope with an instant triple kill. Jackie Love cowering back towards his fountain, but this should be the final push. A devious response out of anyone's legend to force this series to Game 3.
And this is what we wanted when we came into today, right? The Group Nirvana game was a warm-up for ALTES, these two teams who are fighting for the top of the table, who want a chance at winning it all and sending themselves to Worlds. Hope.
Oh, Hope, they're already dead, man. Just doing laps around this team right now. And hey, why not another dredge line? Why not another kill? 27 in 28 minutes in the win for AL.
Looking to join up with the rest of the squad here.
369 back on his patent Aatrox as well. It is, I believe TP, he's going to walk his way back top, so could have a first game here, Bloxer, in the series where bot lane stays put until ultimates really come online. Speaking of ultimates, there's Scream dropping the Between Worlds. Shanks does not get the Realm Warp out. Great flag and drag from Kanavi, and Cream grabs the first kill. Take a couple licks at Kyle and Hope. But with them standing tall and being safe, Kanavi really doesn't have ability to force this dragon. Cream can go invis over the wall. Shouldn't be able to disrupt this Drake take, though. Tarzan's going to smite that one home, and now TS are kind of getting pincered on, but they're going after Shanks again. He has flash, though. Gets out over the wall. Kanavi too low. Kyle going to flash after, but not enough damage with the Aerie to find that kill. Going to go for the root onto Jackie Love. Can he get close enough to kill off Jackie Love? No, because Kyle goes down first. Flash forward, Bramble Smash. Yes, you do get Jackie Love, but boy, do you pay a high bounty for it in the name of Top Esports. Shanks trades out one, but it's feats of warfare and more gold for Top Esports.
Yes, they get ability to survive at the moment, and especially because he knows he's got some friends on the way in as well. Kanavi and Hung gonna arrive right here, and this could potentially be a dive onto a half-health Shanks.
Oh, Tarzan, he's just barely out of position. I don't think Shanks gets this through. Yeah, the Between Worlds uses the edge and the Glacial Fissure knockup. That is such a crisp combo coming across here. And it's weird, right, Bloxer? Game 2, we talked a lot about how TES drafted a comp where they kind of have to settle their nerves early and play slow. AL are in a much similar spot by this point, and they are not doing that. Tarzan is just wickedly out of position, playing for a Scuttle Crab, and now he's just dead. And maybe set up Flandre to go next here. Cataclysm flash forward. Kanavi's going to chase through. The main on the back end of this fight, but Jackie can't get in with the threat of Kyle's Karma, but Kanavi doesn't care. He's just claiming flashes like trophies right now.
Yeah, everybody having to flash away, and that's going to open this Drake straight back up once again. Kanavi able to start this one up. At least you managed to get the push through from AL onto the mid lane. That's going to stop this from being quite so bad. You're not going to lose out onto quite as much gold as you would have otherwise. But Drake stacking was one of the good things that was happening for AL. Tarzan had good control over the objectives so far. That wasn't particularly close. I was slightly worried when it went through that Kanavi was gonna smite early, but he was holding on.
But diving a Rise is one thing, diving a Yorick is a whole other task. But Kanavi seems like he's up for the challenge. That's a canceled back with the flag. Gonna look to see if he can catch Flandre trying to get away from his tier 1 turret. The exhaust is really clutch here from Hong. There's the baby cage down. Flandre using some healing, but the knockup comes back through, and Cream is so ahead. They just elites Flandra. TES are monsters on the map the way they're just finding dive after dive in this game 3.
Yeah, Flandra trying to use the Morning Mist to grab a couple of people and walk away, got some deep wards, and they're only really worried about 1 or 2 wards in their jungle, none of them particularly well positioned.
Herald down in the mid lane, we take a crack at another turret. No grubs, so there's not as much of a threat to burn it through, but the wave, yeah, they do just end up taking this mid-tier 1, and Cream is looking for more here, catching Tarzan out, just trying to take his wolves. The Realm Warp's going to...
Such a chunk of damage.
This is
part of the problem.
Shanks just TP'd out, seeing Kanavi clearing a ward. That is how much aura Kanavi J4 has right now.
He's right as well. That's the worst thing, I think, is that Shanks is correct to do that because he would have died. He would have given over another kill. Instead, it's just going to be Tower, it's going to be this Hextech Drake being picked up, and as AL, you have got to find a way back into this game right now, but what can you play around? Hope isn't in a decent spot. He's okay at the moment, but still, both him and Shanks are just slowly trying to stack their tiers up, right? They haven't really been able to fully get themselves towards those second items, not in the same way that even Jackie Love, who I'd say has had a pretty quiet game, he's 2 items completed already. And get a couple of picks here as AL. There is a ton of standing gold available to them to pull themselves back into this game and even ahead, but being able to find those picks, being able to step up far enough is going to be pretty risky. Atakan already below half HP.
Here we go. First real pressure point here for AL. Trying to stop this Opticon take. Nature's Grass goes down. Can Tarzan get a hero steal in? No, he can't even get in, but over the stuns, he actually smites Otacon away from Kanavi. How much can TES get with kills to make sure Otacon isn't a huge lifeline? It's only one.
Wow. That's so rough right there for TES. They do everything correctly. It felt like Cream was able to do a ton of damage too, but they just don't stop Tarzan from getting into the pit, and the fact he's able to steal that way is huge. 369 also caught out. Is he just dead?
He's in timeout in the play place. Oh no, they don't have enough damage. Flandra gets thrown the Cataclysm. Kanavi is under turret, but there's hope with the Mystic Shot to pick up the first kill. Kanavi's really low. Hog has to protect his own jungler, but he gives a double over to Hope. TES are starting to really flounder, and AS are going for the blow here to just knock them back into an even game. Stay with the flag and drag through for Kanavi. Jackie Love's finally here. Jackie Love trying to rescue this bird play as he flashes through 2 members of AL to shut down one, find himself a second. Jackie Love, vintage moment to rescue a bad play from TES. But it's Kareem that's going to be the final casualty here as Tarzan flies forward with the phase rush to try and knock him down. Twisted advance forward. 1 Bramble smash. Flandra's play place. There is the ace for AL. We've got a whole new game on our hands.
That's going to pick them up 6 quick kills, which is really, really cool to see. TES, I mean, it's a long set of plays, but it loses them out onto both the Atakan and now potentially onto a Dragon right here. Kanavi's still going to be dead for 4 more seconds. No hope of a Smite steal either. Teleport coming into the pit just to make sure this one is going to be secured. And AL, they show light.
No matter how that last fight went, Cream is still 2.5 items deep on this Aurora, level 15. And AL, they have to be really careful, especially Tarzan, who is still particularly squishy. This is a full AP Maokai. He gets engaged on with the flag and drag. Glacial Fissure comes across, and they pick off Tarzan first. Shanks will Realm Warp back out, but now they have no real engage tool and no peel to protect them for 369 with the World Ender, looking to be a series ender alongside Cream, who picks himself up the double kill. Hope, though, with a nice Mystic Shot, gets 1 back.
Yeah.
But the rest of this bottom lane can't get close enough for any more of these kills. It's way too dark in their own jungle.
It's the entire game so far, but it's still true for AL. They have no vision down towards the bottom side of the map. They can't afford to send members to really go and check it. So that is just going to be that sole point completed right here for TES. 5 minutes now until they can get themselves a Hextech Soul, and that would be huge for their teams in the LPL this split. Puts them in conversations for being able to win the entire thing, potentially. Baron going to be started up by TES. AL, they don't know this is happening, but they do know this is happening.
They do now. Yeah, and Flandra's going to TP, but it's too
so
late.
fast.
Tarzan, do you have another steal in you? No, he doesn't. Kanavi takes away the Baron, and now Tarzan is as good as dead. Between Worlds is going to get Cream back on the back line. Kyle has to flash back into the red buff pit, but Kanavi is flashing after Hope. That Ezreal, who was so big and bad in the last fight, is getting chased down, sectioned off, and cut down by Cream. And now TES have the wrap on the rest of the members of AL. It's all crumbling, one by one, kill by kill, just like game 1. 1 Baron is all TES need to make a statement to the league. The BLG series was a wash. TES are still a top dog in Group Ascent.
Yeah, they keep themselves above everybody else right here, 6-1. They've had an incredible first round robin in this series, and the way that they've played has just been gorgeous. Like you said, all they need, one Baron, pick it up, run it straight on through. 31-minute game, pretty quick to end as well. AL, are they back? No, not yet.
And they've got a lot more